Is forgery a big crime only for the poor? Reverend Father Kelvin Ogo asks panel uh, finds who finds Misoma guilty. A panel of inquiry established by the Anambra State government has officially confirmed Misoma Ejikeme manipulated her unified tertiary matriculation examination result. It was discovered that Misoma actually scored 249 as opposed to the initial claim of 362. Reacting to this, Reverend Father Calvin Ugu took to his verified Facebook handle a few hours ago to share 10 lessons to learn from this story as he asked a critical question which says, is forgery a big crime only for the poor? He asked this question due to the swiftness of JAM on this issue. He opined that if the same swiftness can be applied to everyone in Nigeria, the country might change positively. According to Reverend Father Kelvin Ugu, he said, public officers can bounce on the rich government officers and children of the rich with the same swiftness they use in bouncing the poor children of the poor. Things may change for some good in the country. Is forgery a big crime only for the poor? Who will answer me? Speaking further in a series of posts, he claimed that the one you call Mr. President rigged the election that brought him to power, claiming that no swiftness was applied here. What you don't want to hear is that if you support Tinubu's presidency and refuse to call it the fraud that it is, you don't in any way have a moral right to condemn any other criminalities. You have to first remove the Ewu Gambia in your head so you can have a clear sense of judgment over the foul in your brother's head. Meanwhile, the Catholic priest finally concluded that the truth will always prevail, even if it takes a long time. He noted that he can tolerate a thief, an adulterer, but he can't tolerate a lie. Okay, now I don't know, because the proof that they've given that she actually manipulated her results has not been broken down. They just said we found her guilty. Found her guilty. Okay, fine. On what basis? Because I'm sorry, but if JAM came out, put this girl's name out there, put everything out there, you can't then cut the story short and then not give us the conclusion. It doesn't make any sense. Bro, INEC did not say someone rigged the election. You said it. You had been in the court to prove your allegation. At the end of the day, yes, there's a lot of comparison with how corrupt the existing, government is, and of course, with the current president. We understand that. Great, fantastic. However, that's also not an excuse in your own small span of control to accept corruption, because then everything builds up. You can't just expect that we are corrupt. We're just a corrupt country. Yes, we know the government is corrupt, but in your different offices, schools, wherever it is, you not following due process, you manipulating, changing, not having a system, not being consistent, cutting corners, that aids to corruption in itself. So yes, it's not an excuse to then say, well, if the president, is corrupt and he got there by, very questionable means, then everyone else has a right to do the same thing. Of course not. Yes, your leaders do set the pace for how you should behave, but if your leaders are doing the wrong thing, do you then follow them? That now is the question. So actually, to confirm, I need to see a breakdown actually of how Miss Soma, because it's a big story on how she forged her results. Let's see. So on Twitter, SAN, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, have come out to talk, and by the name Jibrin Samuel Okwitekpa says, I've had deep reflections on the Miss Soma versus JAM episode. I think what the little girl is alleged to have done is a reflection of the reality of a sorrowful and sorry state of affairs in Nigeria. We have educated and bigoted political sycophants and forgers everywhere. Miss Soma Ejikeme fooled many, including me. Check out the fluency with which she defended herself with such innocence. Wow. She's still a brilliant girl, so let's not be in a hurry to destroy her. The parents need to have a lot of counseling. I mean, well, it seems like this is true. I can't say because I haven't seen a breakdown, but, a lot of people are, disappointed because people did come to defend this girl. Well, the consequence is that she can't take the exam in the next 3 years. And it just is what it is. If you failed your results, that's just the consequence. So everyone's saying, "Oh, she's a young girl. You can't judge her." It's like, okay, fine, we get it. If you can't be comparing her to the government. The government needs to hold themselves accountable. So, in our own way, with this case, we can't then excuse what she's done if that is true, and then say, "Well, look at your own government. Look at your present, president. Look at how he forged his results. Did he also not forge his results?" And I'm like, okay, fine. Does that now mean that in the little ways we can be corrupt because it's not a big corruption, then it's justified? Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So it is actually very sad with what's going on. Now, this girl called Misoma Ejike now, with all, I guess, the innocence, people say, oh, wow, she really defended herself. How can she do that? She comes out and she says she's suicidal and she begs for forgiveness. And I'm like, what? Where's so come from? At the end of the day, the consequence for what she's done is that for the next 3 years she's disqualified and she cannot write the exam. And the fact that her pictures, her name is now out there, whenever she try to come back, people remember, wait, aren't you the girl that da da da? See, there are consequences to what you do. Do not forge your results. Put what you think in the comment section below and don't forget to like and subscribe.